Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 1965 Toyota Sports 800. Now this was Toyota's first sports car that was produced between 1965 and 1969, with 3,131 being made. This is one of 300 that were actually left-hand drive for the Okinawa market as Okinawa was occupied by the US and they drive on the opposite side of the road as in Japan, so that's why they were left-hand drive. So this is a very small car, as you can see. It's a very lightweight car as well, at 1,329 pounds. Weight was kept down by using aluminium body panels and thin steel for the unibody. And this was also one of the first vehicles to have a targa top, which is basically the middle section of the roof that lifts out, so you can store it away in the boot, and then you have a convertible on your hands. And that was also made out of aluminium, so it wasn't heavy to lift it up and out, and neither was it, putting extra weight onto the car as well. So really like the look of this car, and like I said, it is quite a small car as well. It's only 140.9 inches long. To put it into context, its bigger brother, the 2000 GT, was 164.4 inches long. So that's a real massive difference, and I love the look of it. Like I said, I like the curved rear window there going on. I like the fact it's got a targa top, although unfortunately we can't see that in this game. And I like the interior as well. It's nice and simple. It's got everything that you'd expect from such a small lightweight car. 4-speed manual as well, so it's a proper driver's car in that respect. And because it weighs so little, the lack of power, because it has not got the biggest of engines, doesn't really harm it. So it's got an 800cc flat 2 engine, which produces 44 horsepower and 49 pounds-feet of torque. And as you can see there, it's got twin carburetors on it as well. So that's not a lot of power, but it's right in line with other kind of cars of the time. You know, the Austin Healey Sprite Mark 1, which is kind of the British equivalent to this, only has 1 extra horsepower and 3 extra pounds-feet of torque, but it also weighs about 150 pounds more, well, 150 pounds more. So very small, very lightweight car. It's even got 50-50 weight distribution going on as well, so it's actually a really rather good handling car. But definitely one that is made for inner city urban areas more than countryside open roads. But still, let's get out onto the open road and see what this car can do. Right, so we are at the drag strip, but it's not really about the drag strip with this car because it doesn't have the highest of top speeds by any means. But we are going to loop around and then come back round onto the track and see what it can do there. So with only 44 horsepower, as you can expect, this doesn't have all the speed in the world. Got 60 is dealt with in 16 seconds. And it will go on to a top speed of 89 miles an hour. So not massively quick in any way, shape or form, but I'm not really bothered about that. It's more about what a car can do in terms of making you feel good, or enjoyment factor, or how fun it is, or anything like that. So and this is a properly fun car, as these lightweight, low-powered cars usually are, quite frankly. So and because it's got 50-50 weight distribution, you can really throw it into the corners and you're not going to worry that it's going to snap oversteer or anything like that, which you might expect for a car with such a short wheelbase. So let's look at the stats before we go around the track. So evidently we're going to be in D-Class, about the halfway range, and decent speed, handling and braking on the go, but obviously the launch and the acceleration is really rather lacking. But again, because it's got such little amount of horsepower, even the brakes being on the lower side of things doesn't really matter, because it's not got that much in the way of momentum in the first place. So because there's very little weight and you're not going to be going that fast anyway, so the brakes not being the best aren't really a major issue. So as per usual, let's listen to the car for a little bit and then we'll talk about it some more. So yeah, decent sounding engine, but as you can see it doesn't rev particularly high. I guess it doesn't really need to, which is in stark comparison to the Honda S500, which was another small, lightweight Japanese sports car from around the same time as this. But still, it's reasonably sharpish for a car that has so little in the way of power. Certainly it feels a little bit more sharpish than, say, the Austin Healey Sprite Mark 1, which I've compared this to already. And yeah, because it doesn't have a massive amount of power or speed, the handling is fairly good as well. But, you know, I feel even if it had extra power, this would still be a pretty good handling car. Because it doesn't particularly roll around all that much, and yeah, it doesn't weigh much either, so there's not really a lot of car here to get out of shape. But still, it's a fun enough car to drive, and yeah, it is the kind of car that I wish we had more of in Forza games, quite frankly, because this is a brand new car to the Forza series. We've never had it in a Forza game before, and quite frankly it's this kind of car that I enjoy driving, quite frankly. Obviously it's not the only kind of car I enjoy driving, but underpowered, you know, lesser known kind of cars really are a great thing, quite frankly, and we've had plenty in the past in Forza games, like the Subaru 360, which I really rather enjoyed. But yeah, this is kind of car that really feels rather underrepresented on these games. So yeah, more of this, quite frankly, because Japan has a whole host of these kind of small, lightweight kind of cars that might not have a massive amount of power, but they are really rather fun to drive. You think of the K cars in their heyday, for instance, and there's all sorts of Daihatsus and, you know, Hondas and all that lot that really are quite fun to drive and look at, and, you know, might not have a massive amount of power, but they are generally quite fun to drive. Look at this, sticking it right into the corner, getting right on the apex, still more than 50 miles an hour. Yeah, it's just an utter treat to drive. So you can get this car by getting 20 points in the festival playlist, which is, yeah, more than easily done. And yeah, it's well worth getting, because not only is it a joy to drive in stock form, but I'm sure with some upgrades you'll have a pretty mad car to drive on your own time as well. Because yeah, if you can even put in just the the Rally turbocharged engine, where you can get even more than 600 horsepower in its fully upgraded form, that'll be a huge amount of power to put into this when you consider it's not even got 50 horsepower stock. So yeah, get out there and get this if you haven't already, especially if you're into your JDM cars like I am in some respects. Certainly becoming more and more the case lately with cars on these games, becoming more and more into JDM cars. And then even if you are into JDM cars in really big way, then you will hopefully enjoy this as well. But yeah, nonetheless, so thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and yeah, I'm really glad this car's in the game. Like I said, more of this, quite frankly, Forza. But yeah, nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.